Hello, my name is Cameron Taylor. This is an introductory video about implementing communication devices in the classroom effectively. In Maryville City Schools, we have many students who use augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC, as their voice. Therefore, it is important that classroom teachers are effective in encouraging device use. We want our students who use AAC to become independent communicators who are empowered to express their knowledge and opinions in the classroom and in other settings. There are many important steps when preparing to work with a student who uses AAC, but the first step is to familiarize yourself with the student's device. There are many types of devices and tablet applications that are used in Maryville City Schools for students who use AAC. When familiarizing yourself with a student's device, be sure to look at the vocabulary your student has available to use, as well as the layout of the device's buttons. If a student uses a screen similar to this picture, then the student may struggle to discriminate among words. However, a student who utilizes a screen with this layout may have better fine motor control and language planning that would allow for a larger word bank on each page. The next step to take when planning for students who use AAC in your classroom is to utilize open-ended questions. Often we feel more comfortable asking students yes and no questions when we know they struggle to speak. However, it is extremely important to ask students who use AAC open-ended questions so that they utilize more vocabulary stored in their device. Who, what, when, where, and why are great sentence starters that lead to open-ended questions. Another important aspect of effective AAC implementation in the classroom is the understanding that the teacher should never take away a student's communication device due to misbehavior. An AAC device is a student's voice, and these students have the right to get in trouble, just like any typically speaking student would. It is recommended that you provide the same consequences for students speaking out of turn or inappropriately using their AAC devices that you provide for verbal students when they commit the same inappropriate behaviors. I find that this quote sums up this concept nicely. One of our basic rights, the freedom of speech, should also include the freedom to speak, no matter the impediment. This means that no matter the severity of a student's intellectual disability or language delay, that they have the right to speak what is on their mind, no matter whether that's appropriate or inappropriate. The last aspect of effective AAC implementation that we will touch on today is effective prompting. When teaching students to communicate with new vocabulary on their AAC device, it is important that a prompting hierarchy is followed. First, create a natural cue for the student to communicate by asking an open-ended question. To provide a visual cue, the teacher may even consider writing the question on the board. If the student does not respond, then the teacher may use a positional prompt where he or she can scoot the AAC device closer to the student. If the student does not initiate a response, the teacher can employ a gestural prompt by pointing to the device or even to a specific page on the device to elicit a response from the student. If the student still continues to struggle to come up with a response, the teacher can give a verbal direction. If further assistance is needed beyond a verbal direction, the teacher can model using the new vocabulary or utilize hand over hand to physically prompt the student to communicate with the new vocabulary. This prompting hierarchy may be difficult to remember and practice daily in the classroom, but its use will effectively teach students to communicate independently with less prompting over time. This concludes our presentation on the effective implementation of AAC in the classroom. Please feel free to contact me by email if you have any questions or would like any further information. Thank you.